What's going on? It's your boy SB. So we are going to have a discussion on if Amazon will survive the storm. Now, if you're one of the ones who's here like, what storm? I don't know of any storm. What storm are we talking about? I mean, the storms in California or the storms? I've been talking about this since last year about people getting their resumes ready, saving up money to have reserves. If you're still not seeing what's going on, I really don't know what to say. So that's the main thing I want to talk about, if Amazon will survive the storm. And then not only that, I want to go over my predictions for 2023. And then even what about my predictions that I said in 2022? Did those things happen? And then forget my predictions. I think we're going to talk about this first. We're going to talk about Uncle Jeff's predictions. Y'all know he made predictions about the company. You like, for real? He did? Yes. And I think he made the craziest predictions compared to everybody else out there who's, I think this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen. I think Jeff Bezos has the craziest predictions for Amazon than anybody else. And I think we'll probably start with that. All right, so he actually said these things in like 2018, 2017. He said it a few times during his career with his company. Here's just a few of the quotes that he said. Now, this is Jeff Bezos. This isn't like some angry, employee that got fired or got done wrong saying some crazy stuff. This is Jeff. Jeff, Uncle Jeff. This is Unc right here. It says in a recording of a 2018 all hands meeting obtained by CNBC, Bezos was still just as convinced of Amazon's inescapable mortality. That sounds intense. Anyway, so it says Amazon, this is what Jeff Bezos says. Amazon is not too big to fail. In fact, I predict one day Amazon will fail. And that was a reply from Jeff Bezos from a staffer who asked about big businesses like Sears going bankrupt. He also went on to say this: Amazon will go bankrupt. He says, if you look at large companies, their lifespan tends to be 30 plus years, not 100 plus years, he said. Bezos said it was his job to delay the date as long as possible. This sounds crazy. It sounds like some conspiracy theorist, somebody who got fired years ago is coming out to the light. I think the company is going to be doomed. But this is Jeff who said this to reporters. He says that he is trying to delay that date as long as possible. Amazon turned 27 years old on Monday, so it's fast approaching Bezos' 30-year benchmark. And I think that came out in like 2018. So as I've said before, I covered this before months ago, but Jeff Bezos said this. So first off, I would love to hear an update. Hey, Unc, boop, 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 boop. Hey, Unc, what's your update on that? You feel me? I would love to hear his thoughts, his updated thoughts on those comments and those remarks that he made. I believe that right there was made in 2018. What's the update? Could we get a time frame? You feel me? A brother want to have his reserves looking right before your date and before what you see comes to pass. Now, if this was just some random person, I would just brush it off. But ever since I've read that months ago, that's never left because it's the one who created the company. This is not some random guy. And we're right around that benchmark. We're at that benchmark that he was talking about, that 30 plus years. We're right there. But right around that time, that's when Amazon explodes through the pandemic, had crazy gains, crazy growth. But what happens right after that? Remember the article came out where it says Amazon is the world's first public company to lose $1 trillion in market value. And why did they say that happened? They said it was due to the rising inflation, tightening monetary policies, and disappointing earning updates triggered by a historic sell-off of stock this year. That happened real quick after the big financial gain that they had. The reasons that they gave, they haven't changed. You feel me? It's still rising inflation. It's still all this stuff going on. So wouldn't that continue to happen? I can't even really imagine the company going bankrupt like he said, but it's just the fact of the person who said it. So that was Jeff's prediction. Like I said, I would love to hear an update on that. My prediction, when I talked last year, what was some of the things that I said? I said, I do believe layoffs were coming. And what happened? People came with stones, you feel me, pitchforks. You should have seen how people was coming at me in the comment sections. I mean, long comments. I mean, angry faces. I couldn't see the faces. I imagined in my head, like I was reading it and was really sitting there like, yo, why is this person angry at me? I'm just saying, people were angry. But then all of the headlines started coming out. cutting 100,000 headcount. Now, that wasn't a layoff. I guess they just cut that many positions. Let's not forget, layoffs wasn't the only thing that happened. A whole bunch of positions got cut. Go look at all the headlines. All that stuff is there. But I guess we can say that did come true. That prediction was true. Layoffs came. So what do I think is going to happen for 2023? First off, I do not think this is it for the layoffs, as I've said on every layoff video, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get 2 or 3 more rounds of layoffs. One of the other things I think we're going to continue to see is more work being put on less people, not just for Amazon. This is at a lot of other jobs. When I'm going into certain stores, I'm going into department stores, I go to the grocery stores, I see less workers, and I've even talked to people where they're doing more responsibility. So it's like, oh snaps, it ain't just happening at my job at Amazon. A lot of companies are coming across that where the workers that had, let's say, 3 or 4 duties that they had to carry out, now they got like 6 duties, but the pay ain't went up. But it just seems like more work is getting put on less people. I definitely believe that's going to continue to happen with Amazon and with other companies in all different type of positions. Let's say within the warehouse, different managers like, yo, we're understaffed. Why are so many people understaffed? At least the people that I talk to. This is all my opinion. You feel me? This does not reflect Amazon. We just talking Amazon. You feel me? I just work there, but this is not my opinion. It don't reflect the company. None of that stuff. But I get hit up a lot, whether it's on Instagram, email, Slack. I just get Chime. Who still uses Chime? Why y'all be chiming me? Look, if you want to hit me up, the best, quickest way would be Instagram. The next best way is the email. But I get a lot of spam, and I get like a lot of people with these fake brand deals, all this stuff. So it takes a little more time to filter out. Instagram, honestly, would be the best way. When it comes to management as well, a lot of them saying they were understaffed, and a lot of them say, yo, we're doing way more work now. But that's just an opinion. That could be one building, or that could just be the 10 to 12 buildings that hit me up, and the rest are fully staffed and not being overworked. I don't know, but I think that will continue to happen. Hey, we used to have 6 water spiders. All right, I think we're going to start to see less. We're going to have 3 water spiders. We're going to have less people carrying out more work. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section. And let me know if you've seen that already happen. Like, were you just doing one task and now you're doing 3? You were just covering one area, now you're covering multiple areas. Now, do I think layoffs will hit the warehouse specifically? I don't know. As we said before, I don't think that needs to happen due to the high turnover. But as I've always said, if a lot of jobs, a lot of companies continue to lay off, if this continues to get pushed in big media, I believe that's going to cause a scarce mindset and cause people to be more careful with their job and not just want to leave their job. I think we're going to start to see people take their job more serious, even though it's Amazon. One thing I do think we'll see, I think we'll see a crackdown. I think we'll see more write-up. I've already gotten hit up by a lot of people who say they weren't tripping on headphones. Now people have been getting written up for headphones. I've gotten people hit me up about people getting written up for TOT more. I think we'll see that increase. And I think more so towards the middle end of the year, we could possibly start to see MTO, which is mandatory time off. Like, that's one thing that I've dealt with when I used to do a job. It was called Estes West. I was doing a forklift. They didn't just fire everybody, because if you fire people, then what? Then you're going to have to go through the hassle of calling people back in if you need them. What if this month we get a bump in sales and now we need the manpower? Now we got to train people. That could become a hassle. But with the company that I work for, they didn't have layoffs. They had a thing where you had to call in. I had to call in every single day. Do you guys need me to come in today? No, we don't need you to come in today. All right, bet. Click. Next day, you guys need me to come in today? No, we don't need you to come in today. Like, literally. So I think we can get to that point where there's like mandatory time off, where they won't fire people because just in case they can get the people to come in. I think we could see that. When do I think all this stuff will start to increase? At first, I was saying in the beginning of the year, which I definitely think we've already seen some pullback in overtime. But one thing I forgot about, tax season. You feel me? It's like, man, we really got some stuff happening throughout the year that keeps people spending. We got tax season right around the corner. Everybody getting their taxes. People are going to go back and spend a lot of that money. But you feel me? When you look it up, go look it up. I'm still got to do the video. Hopefully I get that done soon, where I titled it, "The Storm is Here." There's so many people with so much debt. They said like America's at the all-time low when it comes for savings. They were saying there's so many people who's behind on utility bills. So my question is, are people going to spend in the marketplace as much as they have in previous years with their tax refunds? Or will most of their tax refunds go into catching up, paying off credit card debt, catching up, paying off utility debt? Because I think we're getting to that point to where it's like people got to choose on paying bills or buying the extra stuff. I encourage you, you get some tax money, I wouldn't go out and blow it. Hopefully you didn't blow all your money during Christmas, but if you have a second chance during this tax refund, I'm hoping you pay off your debt and put some of that money to the side because it's going to be a long ride. And then going back to the warehouse, I still think that's one of the safest positions when it comes to Amazon because, and not just Amazon, all these companies that's having a lot of layoffs, I do think the warehouse is sort of one of the safe spaces because they're always going to need people to fulfill these orders. So that's just some of my predictions. Forget my predictions. I think Jeff's prediction is more relevant now than it's ever been because it's like when you look around, I think it's that type of climate. It's like I really want to know where his thoughts lie on those statements that he made. Will we get that? I definitely do not think we'll get that because I think his words will weigh. Imagine if he said that now, like, oh, yeah, well, I think it can happen any day. That would cause chaos when it comes to stock and all this other stuff. So I don't even think he'll give that type of opinion. I think 2023 is going to be a rough year, just being honest. I think it's going to be worse than last year. So many more companies still talking about laying off. Even when it comes to McDonald's, they're talking about laying off Mickey D's. And I'm sure most people have never thought of a McDonald's having to have layoffs. So overall, I think 2023 is going to be a bad year. I'm not even going to lie because this is just the financial part. No one's really talking about what happens when finances go down. And that's when stage 2 is going to come in. The breakdown of society. You know what I mean? People going crazy, people snapping. I've talked, not snapping, like, you feel me? This is not a poetry jam. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people snapping and losing it. I've said that in one of them other videos. I think it was crime is on the rise or something like that. I might have to touch on that subject some more in the video that I make when I'm talking about the storm is here. But I think that's a factor that a lot of people aren't looking at as well. What do I think we should do? I think we should do those things I've always talked about. Save your money and some things I think we still need to do. Like I've said plenty of times, pay off that debt, save up some reserves so you can have enough to pay your bills if anything happens, update that resume, also start a side hustle. If you can't work overtime at your job, save your finances for a rainy, if not even a rainy, for the rainy day. So anyways, if you have not done it yet, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to hit the notification bell. Yes, I'm also an artist. This song is called Whoa off my project called Motivated. It's on iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. Positive music, inspirational music. If you want to check it out, link will be in the description. I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. It's your boy SB. Let's go.
Look, they say I couldn't do it, but I did. Turn stacks to a crib. Yeah, going up, going in. Let them sleep, bedtime, tuck them in.